Ho, ho, ho! Merry Rigmas!
Right, so welcome back to the 11th day of Merry Rigmas. Today I'm going to show you how to tie a very simple squid rig. Now, a lot of people have got a fascination with squid fishing and don't really know where to start. I haven't done a lot of squid fishing, I'll be totally honest with you. I'm nowhere near an expert. Someone might say different, but I'm just going to show you how to tie a very simple squid rig, which has caught me some squid. But I'm nowhere near an expert, so I'm just putting it out there as a start. Now, these lures, they're squid lures, as you can see, haven't got any hooks. They've got spikes. Now what happens is the tentacles, they come up and they'll go on there and all their tentacles will get caught in there and you'll be able to just pull it in. You don't really fight a squid. You just very gently keep winding, and all of a sudden you'll feel the rod bend very gently, and that's your squid on. And just keep reeling gently and just wind it in. Don't give it any slack. Don't yank at it. Don't pull it from a jetty down the bottom because it will just come off. You need a drop net if you're fishing from a pier, from a boat. Get under it, the net, before it fills air. As soon as it fills air, like cuttlefish, so let's pretend this is the seabed, and that's the lure, and this hand is the squid or the cuttle. When it fills air and it lets go, and you'll be left with the squid will go back onto the surface, and you'll just be left with a lure. So leave it in, keep it in the water below the water level. Scoop the net under it and pick it up. So let's show you how to tie a very simple squid rig. Now you can use one lure or two lures. One lure I think probably is easier because two squid are a bit tricky to handle and they like to twist and intertwine. But I'll show you how to do it with two. But I would probably recommend one. This is the simplest rig you're ever going to get probably for squid fishing. You can fish just with a lure, but that ain't going to cast very far, as I believe that's probably only 30 grams, I think, that one. Now, they're buoyant pretty much in the water. I've tested this in the bath, and they kind of sort of sit like that. So you will need a weight as well if you're fishing off the bottom, or if you want to cast a long way. Now, this one is more suited for fishing on a boat and fishing vertically down, but saying that, you could probably use it on the seafront, and you'd probably still catch a fish if you're just using a singular lure. So the first thing we want to do is we want about 30 pounds mono. So we're just going to grab around about 2 foot up from the bottom, and we're going to tie a blood loop. So we're going to put a big loop in the line. As I say, there's better videos showing you how to tie a blood loop, but you literally just go around it with the top. I don't know how easy you can see and what you can't see, but it's tricky to do on camera because they're not very easy knots to tie. So if I was you, go and have a look at a blood knot if you don't know how to do it, a blood loop, and then see how to do it a bit clearer than this one. But basically, do a blood loop in the line. And then we'll just pull that tight. There we go. And then once you've got your blood loop in the line, it will look a little bit, if you've done it correctly, a little bit like that. You'll have your knot there, and then you'll have a big loop, like so. Go ahead and cut a little bit of that loop at the top, and just leave a tiny little tag end. So then you'll be left with a knot and a standoff bit of line. I'll always make sure now that I pull tight to make sure there's no way of sliding through. There's no way that's going anywhere. Not with a squid anyway. Right, and then you're going to just tie on your squid jig. So we'll bring it up close to the knot, and then we'll tie the knot, because when you do a grinner, when you tighten it, it will lengthen the snood anyway. 2, 3, 4, that'll do. And then we're just going to pull it down. So we'll just moisten the knot. Always moisten the knot, it's really important. And just bring it down, tighten it like that. Oh, there we go. and then just snip off your tag end like so. So you're left at the moment then with one squid jig hanging off of the end. Now in the water, as I say, because that's a bit buoyant, if it's light, if you're fishing like that and you've got a weight at the bottom, that will sort of sit like that. And even if it is sitting a bit vertically like this, as you're jigging up and down, it will sort of do that. Squid are not fussy; they'll attack anything if it works. So yeah, there we go. And then if you want to put another squid jig on, go up about. If you're fishing on a boat, I would go up about 3 foot until you do the next blood loop, sorry, because that way you're fishing one slightly lower to the seabed and one maybe 5 foot off. So I'm going to do one at 3 foot there. So I'm going to tie another blood loop. And this line is not the easiest to do the blood loops on, just simply due to the fact it's a little bit kinky. Right, so let's tie another blood loop. As I say, if you're just beginning off with squid fishing, I would just put one lure on, but I'm just showing you how to do it with two. Right, there we go. Again, you've got a little blood loop there. I'm just going to go ahead and snip a bit off. And then I'm going to tighten it, make sure it's nice and tight. Ooh, yeah, nice. Nice and tight. Tie on your other squid jig. Let's bring that other squid jig up here, it's pulling me down. I would recommend putting two different colours on, because you'll notice sometimes the squid or cuttle will be prone to attacking one or the other. And in a minute, if you bear with me, I'm going to give you another tip which helps keep them on. Let's just move that grinder down a bit, make it a bit easier for myself. Now, all this can be a bit fiddly at first, but once you've picked it up, and once you've done a few grinners and blood loops, you're laughing. 2, 3. I will go down a 4th time, I'm not going to be lazy. It's worth making sure you got it right first time. 4, there we go. That grinner was been a bit naughty, but it's behaved now. It's behaved now. Right, and then go ahead and do about another foot on your spool. Cut it off, and then one end you want to do a double loop granny knot. So do a loop, and then just granny knot it in twice. So go around once and twice. That just keeps a little bit of strength. There you go, nice and tight. Cut off the tag end a little bit, and then go to your other end all the way to the other end, and then obviously you've got nothing less, just got a little bit of line to do the exact same thing. And this is to tie your weight on. So I like using just loops because they're easy and you can change the weight just so simply. In fact, I'm going to do a slightly bigger loop in case I use a nice big heavy weight, because in certain tides you're still going to need a pound of weight to fill the bottom. It's not very sporting, but it is what it is. Tighten that up, and then just cut off the tag end. And then that way I'm just going to put the weight on, so the weight will literally just go, put the whole loop through your weight. This weight's got a bit of rusty crust, so it may not go through very easily. Yes, it has, there we go. Just pull the thing through, the loop through. As I said, because it's crusty, it's not going to want to go. Use a non-crusty weight, but you pull that through, it goes over the weight, and then you just pull it tight. All right. So you're going to have your weight on the end, then you're going to have your two your 2 squid jigs hanging off like that, and then you just attach that loop just to your main lines clip like so, and you can jig that from the seabed like so, like this. You can cast it, retrieve it. Yeah, easy peasy. See, they just stand off little booms like mackerel feathers, but squids. So the tip then you've been waiting for. If you've got a bit of mackerel, or even a bit of squid, pop it on top here and elasticate it over the top. That gives the squid something extra. If they're grabbing like this, gives them something extra to hold on to. Their suckers pinned to that fish, and it makes it even harder for them to come off. And then you're not just relying on the sharp end. But that's my squid rig. I hope that's helped any newcomers. If you're a squid angler and you have got a better idea, and I've done it wrong, please let me know, because as I say, I'm not a squid angler, but I have caught them on this method. So it does work. But there might be something better out there. But give it a go, because squid taste great, and not only that, they're good for bait as well. Happy days.